WFDS Updates and Reminders, Spring 2012. This short video will provide information about recent WFDS updates and enhancements, including topics on the WFDS homepage, Nwcg direction, analysis, and decisions. Most of the items discussed are recent additions or changes to WFDS, but we'll also touch on a few things that aren't as new, but are good reminders. Let's first start with the WFDS homepage. On the left-hand side of the homepage, you can find the contact information for the WFDS Help Desk, which became operational in the fall of 2011. The Help Desk can provide support for basic WFDS questions and WFDS accounts. More advanced questions will be passed on to a higher level for support. Users can also contact the Wildland Fire Management, Research Development, and Application staff using the phone number located here for analysis and decision support assistance, although keep in mind that requests for assistance should first be routed to regional geographic area editors. A Google search feature is also available from the upper right-hand corner and is very handy to search for anything WFDS related. The Google search will search the homepage and the help content. The training page, accessed from the left-hand menu, has a number of new updates. Under the heading WFDS 101, there are numerous new lessons that provide guidance and exercises on specific topics. The lessons are great for people new to WFDS or those that want a refresher on a particular topic. There are a number of training materials available under the headings for Additional Decision and Modeling Learning Resources and Quick Tips, including information on publishing decisions and pre-season training information. And finally, a number of videos have been loaded under the videos section. The newer videos are actually YouTube videos, which are 10 minutes or less and walk the users through the specified topics. Keep in mind that the help content is always accessible from the homepage and from within WFDS. It can be accessed by selecting the question mark shown here and within the application. The WFDS Help allows users to search organizationally from the Contents tab, or alphabetically from the Index tab, or search any topic from the Search tab. The Help content has been improved and expanded over the winter and spring. A new mobile device feature has recently been added to WFDS. It is called WFDS Lite. It's a mobile version of WFDS for use on smartphones. There are a couple of ways to access the mobile feature from your smartphone. The first is to go to the regular production or training logon page. Underneath the Login section is a link to log into WFDS Lite. The other method is to access the feature from the home page. From the home page, you can select Sign In to Mobile Website from the left-hand menu. From this screen, you can select to log in to the Lite version of training or production. Keep in mind that WFDS Lite is designed for mobile devices and does not have full functionality. For example, fire behavior analysis cannot be run or map layers viewed. A list of the functionality that is included in WFDS Lite can be found here. An example, users can view incident objectives, accept and approve decisions, and perform periodic assessments from within WFDS Lite on their smartphone. Let's now leave the WFDS site briefly to review recent WFDS direction from Nwcg. In April of 2012, Nwcg came out with direction in regards to WFDS and the role of incident management teams. The memo can be found on the Nwcg memo page shown here. The direction addresses what portions of WFDS can and can't be delegated to an incident management team, what understanding and skills an IMT personnel need if they are assisting with WFDS decisions, and where line officers and IMTs can go for assistance with the WFDS application. Let's now return to the WFDS application. I'll first cover some recent changes to fire behavior analysis. All 4 fire behavior analysis tools now provide a KMZ file download of the results. The KMZ file can be opened in Google Earth. To access the KMZ file, first view an analysis. From the Results screen, select the Results tab in the upper left corner. and locate the KMZ file download at the bottom of the screen in the left-hand pane. I am showing a short-term fire behavior output, but the KMZ file is located in the same spot for Basic, Near-Term, and FS Pro. To open the KMZ, select the radio button next to it and select Download. You will be asked if you want to save or open the file. If you select to open, Google Earth will launch, assuming you have it loaded on your machine. And it will zoom to the location of the fire that you are viewing and the output. Another new feature that's specific to the short-term fire behavior tool is the ability to view wind grids in Google Earth. Previously, users could view the wind output by turning on separate layers for wind direction and speed. They were difficult to read because the direction and speed were denoted by colors. It was particularly difficult to read the direction grid. However, now the wind grid can be viewed in Google Earth, first by downloading the KMZ as shown earlier, and then by turning on the wind vectors and the legend. The wind vectors from the short-term analysis are downloaded along with the output. This view allows analysts the ability to see modeled spread and direction for wind on one screen. A KMZ file download of the landscape layer for analysis is now also available. To access the file, go to the landscape section. In this example, I am showing a short-term analysis, but the location is the same in the other fire behavior types of analyses. From the landscape page, users can select to download the KMZ, which, when opened in Google Earth, will display the different layers of the landscape in a Google Earth view. If the Download KMZ button is grayed out, you must first create the LCP before you can download the KMZ file. WFDSS has also adjusted the method used to populate the state of the weather for a RAS station. In the past, if a station's state of the weather was not updated for 3 days, the station would not be available for selection in WFDSS for use in fire behavior analysis. Now, an automated state of the weather feature is being used. This will eliminate vanishing stations from within WFDSS due to missing state of the weather. National Weather Service forecast data is now available within WFDSS for Alaska and Hawaii. Among other things, this means that the near-term fire behavior model can now be utilized in these parts of the country. Another great new feature added to the analysis is the ability to change the name of a fire behavior run after it has been simulated. In the past, the name of an analysis at the beginning of an analysis could no longer be edited once the run was complete. Analysts can now edit the name even after the analysis has been completed. This allows analysts to correctly identify runs by name after the fact. And finally, one last update about analysis. The method in which initial live fuel moisture values are calculated has changed as of June 2012. The herbaceous and the woody live fuel moisture values are no longer derived from an NFDRS calculation. They are now determined based on GSI, or Growing Season Index, which takes into account temperature, day length, and moisture. The initial dead fuel moistures are still based on the NFDRS calculation, and both the live and the dead fuel moisture values should still be reviewed by analysts and edited as needed to reflect current local conditions. Let's now take a look at some changes to the decision parts of WFDSS. I'm going to navigate to a pending decision for this incident. When editing the decision, you may not notice any structural changes, but many behind-the-scenes adjustments have been made to the decision editor to improve the functionality and eliminate corrupted data, which has occurred in the past, however rarely. The adjustments made to the decision editor should eliminate those issues. You will also notice that after you have drawn a planning area and started a pending decision, a map of the planning area is now automatically included in the decision. It is located in the incident information content and can be viewed by expanding the selection labeled Incident Map, shown here. Similar to this new feature, an image of any added management action points is also automatically added to the decision. This can be viewed from the Course of Action content section. Management action points that have shapes associated with them can be viewed by selecting the drop-down for Management Action Points Map Image. This incident has one management action point, shown here on the map image in orange. From within the incident content, in the lower left-hand pane, in the Assessments folder, under Fire Weather, there can be more than one fire weather forecast available. The ignition forecast is for the zone of the origin that the fire was started in. However, if your planning area spans weather zones, those forecasts are available from the planning area forecast. To view the weather zones, a new layer has been added to WFDS. I'll go to the situation screen to display it. The layer is located under the fire-related heading and is labeled Fire Weather Zones. They are a little easier to distinguish using the Google Physical Base layer, and they're denoted with black lines around the edges of the zones. Another new layer available under the fire-related section is the Retardant Avoidance layer. This layer displays retardant avoidance areas for the Forest Service only, and is a result of the Forest Service aerial application of retardant environmental assessment. If an incident's planning area intersects an area of retardant avoidance, a management requirement in regards to this area is added to the incident. From the incident history list, from the left-hand menu, text entered for any periodic assessment will now display in this incident history list. By selecting Show Details, users can view the periodic assessment text. For example, on this incident, a periodic assessment was performed on June 13th, and the text was entered here. This text is displayed in the list. The table can also be downloaded by selecting the Excel-looking symbol in the upper left-hand corner of the table, here. Help icons have been added throughout the application. They are shown as little question marks. Selecting the question mark symbol will launch the WFDS help and open it to the section related to the location of the question mark. Here is an example of those question marks. A new feature has also been added to WFDS when users declare a fire out by entering an out date and time. When users enter a date and time in the out section, they will be prompted with a warning message to ensure they understand the ramifications of declaring an incident out. To view what can and can't be edited in an incident after declaring a fire out, select the Help button to the right of Out Date. This Help section details the ramifications of selecting an out date for a fire, specifically what can and can't be edited after the incident is declared out. The last update to share is Forest Service specific, but might be of interest to other agency units that share borders and potentially incident management with Forest Service units. The Forest Service is conducting a research project that employs the use of designating fires of national significance. At this point, there is no definition of a fire of national significance, and the research project has only just begun in June of 2012. Not much information is available at this time. Just note that the section here labeled, "Is this a fire of national significance?" is being utilized for some Forest Service fires in 2012 for research. This concludes the presentation. We covered the main recent updates to WFDS in regards to the WFDS homepage, Nwcg direction, analysis, and decisions. Questions can be submitted by using the feedback button within WFDS or contacting the WFDS Help Desk mentioned at the beginning of this presentation.